defensive line that since you've been here?
Definitely. It really is not even a question about it. From when I first moved over the defensive line, I didn't know what I was doing, and I ended up starting. And it just goes to show how far we've come as far as depth goes, and we've got a lot of quality players there now.
What's the difference? I mean, you hear all these people talk about worst defense in the country, and what's the difference between last year and right now? I mean,
just the attitude of a lot of players. You got new personnel, obviously, guys who are going to come in and help us out, I believe, and then you just got guys growing up. We got a lot of the same faces who were here last year, but guys have matured a lot and they've grown physically and mentally.
What kind of things does South Dakota State bring to the table as far as their front five?
They do a lot of different things. They're a lot of quick drop team, so if you're going to get a sack, you got to get back there real fast. They do a lot to protect their quarterback, whether that's keeping the back end, the tight end, and help out with the pass sets and the pass rush. So they bring a little bit different than a spread attack you usually see in the Big 12.
What about the quarterback? Is he bringing any elusiveness to the table, or is he more of a pocket guy?
I wouldn't say he's the quickest guy, but he definitely he's more in the pocket. He's a pretty accurate quarterback. He's young, so I'm expecting him to be better than he was last year.
You got any goals this week?
As far as personal goals, really, we're just trying to get this win, make a statement, just really build guys' confidence, and just play really well, execute on all levels.
Toben, going into this with your senior season coming up, I'm sure when you get a little bit of free time, you watch some NFL preseason. Is there a player that you try to mimic, or anyone that you've always watched?
I really just try to watch any of the guys doing pass rushing, whether it's outside linebackers, defensive ends. I always feel like you can't get enough of watching that. So, I'll watch guys like Jared Allen, who's a real good power rusher, and guys like DeMarcus Ware, who has more of a blend of power rusher and speed rusher. So I try to watch everything and just, perfect my craft and learn from the guys who know what they're doing, obviously.
Being your senior season here, do you pay attention to what the scouts say about you, or do you block that out?
You look here and there because you got guys at home talking, oh, I saw you were this, I saw you were that. So you hear about it, but you understand it's all on paper. I've seen guys who were projected to go in the first round and not get drafted. So you can't base, when you think about yourself based off what others tell you. You have to perform at the level you believe you can perform to, and then I'll worry about all the scout stuff after the season.
Is that something you keep in the back of your mind at least while you're on the field, or does that even creep into your head at all?
I try not to. I try to focus on the task at hand.
You mentioned being really confident. Where does that come from, just out of curiosity? I mean, you guys haven't had a chance to play a game in quite a while, but how do you build that in the offseason?
For me, it's by nature. But for the rest of the guys, I think I speak for them. I'd say just the off-season workouts and the work that we've put in, and guys have seen what we're capable of through spring ball and how much we progress even from that to training camp and where we are now. I think guys are just that's where the confidence comes from.
Do you feel like there is a little bit of momentum? I mean, if you look back at how last season ended, you didn't take a lot of momentum out of that, but have you built a little bit coming into the season?
Yeah, I'd say so. But, at this point, you can only build so much momentum going against the same guys in each week. So, really, that's why we want to make sure we start off the season right and continue to build momentum from there, because the season's only going to get harder as it goes along.
So, looking back at last year, people always pointed at the numbers or like the big picture of the defense. Is there anything specifically that when you looked back at the way you guys played that there was something you didn't like about the way you played, or things you did that caused the numbers?
You can look at the numbers and the rankings, like the worst defense in the country, but you got to realize that it's all small mistakes that can do that. You've got some very talented guys on this defense from top to bottom. But if one guy makes a mistake in this league, that turns into a touchdown. So if you make a lot of small mistakes in the game, you end up getting blown out. And it's not that you're physically less talented than the opponent you're playing, but it's a mental thing. And honestly, I think that's where most of it came from. You can ask any of the guys who just transferred in here. We've got the talent of a lot of other programs, but because we were mentally weak and we mentally, just didn't handle the snowball effect of last year, it led to some bad, blowout games, and it made our defense look a lot worse than what it really was.
So is that where maybe some of the confidence comes from, the fact that you feel you guys are kind of disciplined and kind of mistakes are
I think guys are being more accountable for their own actions and preparing themselves better than what we were last year.